Teeth can tell us a hell of a lot of things about us. They can tell us how we grew up. They can tell us what we ate. They can tell us how we grew up, how we grew, in fact. And there's been a study published recently of Neanderthals, which have analyzed teeth of individuals, especially children. And we have found out that children, Neanderthal children, both suffered as they were growing up because when they lived, the climate was colder, and they also were weaned later than we had expected. That means that they sucked on the mums. They drank milk from their mothers to over 2 years old. After they were 2 years old. I'm going to share an article here from New Scientist, but I also have another one from National Geographic, which basically deals with the aspect that they revealed how their daily life was, which as I was saying. So the first one is about Neanderthals may have breastfed their young for more than 2 years. This is the same study, which I've linked in the description. That the National Geographic one is, and there's two more, another one in my description. There were a whole host of articles which I encountered this week on this subject. So we're going to read the New Scientist one, or about the youngins, the Neanderthal youngins. So Neanderthal children were exclusively breastfed for 9 months and were fully weaned after the age of 2, according to clues from their teeth. Now, as I said, our teeth, we can, like I said, we can obtain a lot of information from our teeth because our enamel, while we are growing up until we reach maturity, is added to one like a layer. You can imagine this as a tree ring. So if there is any stress in growing up, any diseases, etc., it will show up in our teeth. And a new technique that was developed in this study showed that the teeth of a Neanderthal family that was obtained from around from 250,000-year-old Neanderthal teeth from the Rhone Valley of France, which means the southern part, or you can call it where Bordeaux is, the Rhone River, and so it's southern France mostly. And they found a lot of information. This New Scientist, I got the wrong one, I'm sorry, is a bit lacking. I'll get the better one, which is not the New Scientist, but let's see. I think I got the wrong one. Nope, that's the study. Here we go. This is the one I wanted to talk about because that's the full one. That's the one I wanted to say. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, the children, the study that they found was extracting DNA from children, Neanderthal children of around 250,000 years ago from France, from the Rhone Valley, and what they found was that the children were weaned, said after 9 months, but they still continued to suckle on the mum's teeth until they were more than 2 years old. That is basically what our species, Homo sapiens sapiens, did to their children until we developed modern technologies, until the 20th century, basically, till we developed the formula, and so on. I'm going to show you this thing because this picture here, I'll try and, no, it's not working. I can't stream at the moment because my sound I can't stream sound from any videos I play, so I won't play it, but you guys can click onto it. It shows the scientists that were working on these teeth basically measured and documented each of the rings, quote unquote rings, the growth rings of teeth of the children of Neanderthals, and that showed that where there was stress and where they were not stress, and also they now analyzed the isotopes of oxygen to show when the period was colder or warmer. It is found in the teeth, in the layers, and so they came to the conclusion that as the title says, in winters, well, colder winters than we have now, obviously, because they were living in the glacial maximum period, one of the glacial maximum periods, and they were also more likely to have been in that time period infected with diseases, which is also natural. And they also concluded that the mothers would feed their they would be weaned out of milk past their second year of life. Basically what we did. There's also another conclusion that was found from this study. I think the National Geographic, which I've switched on, National Geographic article talks about, is that from where they got this these samples, they have also found that the children living in that area of Spain, or northern France, southern France, etc., were exposed to lead. Apparently, there's a lead mine which was explored later on in history, in modern history. In fact, much later on in our modern times, a lead mine, and so the children and the people that were living there, the Neanderthal people that were living there, were ingesting possibly the groundwater or some other source of lead. In fact, building a heath, a fire over a mineral, for example, that was common in where it would have been not uncommon in that area, which made lead smoke or some other thing. Then they inhale it, so they were exposed to lead 250,000 years ago in that area. So they had lead poisoning. There's lead markers, or that were in the teeth, and not just in the bones, etc. This study is quite extraordinary because the first part of the study, which basically, well, not the first part, it's the first interpretation of this study, because it's a big one. I have that in the description. There are some publications that focus on one thing, like this one, the Neanderthal children, but a National Geographic, it shows that there were other more broader aspects of Neanderthal life from this study. The anthropologist, archaeologist came from Griffith University in Australia. I think it's Melbourne, Griffith University, or New South Wales. I can't remember now. Sorry about that. So it basically shows that humans, Neanderthals, and us were basically the same. We wean our children after at least until formula was developed in this century, the last century, 20th century, until they were quite oldish, etc. And they faced the same predicaments as sapien hunter-gatherers faced in Europe, etc. So basically, yeah, tooth can tell us a hell of a lot of information about us. They are our the tree rings that date us basically. So yeah, this is a quite short video that I'm making, and I'm going to see what's on the chat. Answer anything inquiries. Let's see. Hello, John. Yes, and Paulo. Lapa and Nokianev. Um, yeah, basically that. Hello, Beach. I'm going to go off here in a bit of second. You just got the ending. I finished the stream. But yeah, I couldn't resist. And Carlos David, Shalom. I couldn't resist this article. It was just too good to do. Like I said in my in Monday's stream, that I was going to be very unpredictable. If anything good turns up, I will do a video, short one as that. If not, I won't do so. Monday is not guaranteed anymore. It's just when they turn up. So thank you all for coming along, and I hope you all have a good weekend. I have a weekend off. I work today. I work Monday. I shouldn't be working Monday, but I should work tomorrow Monday. So until then, good night. Gute Nacht. Boa noite. Guten Abend. Buonasera. Auf Wiedersehen. I'm doing a lot of German, aren't I? Bonne nuit. Arrivederci. Konnichiwa. That's konnichiwa. Arigato. That's Japanese. I can't do it anymore. I'm just kidding around. So, anyway, guys, catch you around. Bye bye.